Hello, I'm fashion photographer Malise Evans. Welcome to the 40 tutorials where we're going to teach you how to take awesome pictures. Today we're going to talk about the gear. One of the questions that I'm asked more often is what gear to buy when just starting in photography, because people want the best results with as little investment as possible. My advice on this is pretty simple. Please, don't you think that buying the most expensive camera is going to make you take better pictures? Pictures are taken by photographer, not the camera. If you think like that, you deserve to hear things like this. Never let the camera take critical decisions over the picture you are taking. You have to work always in manual, never automatic, and never think that the camera is smarter than you. It is very important that the first question to make yourself before buying a camera is thinking, what do I want a camera for? It's not the same that you shoot in studio, or you shoot photojournalism, or you shoot landscapes. What exactly do you want a camera for? When you're starting in photography, it's most important that when you buy your first camera, you don't only think about the brand or what the camera is able to do, but what you are able to do with the camera. It is important that you think about how it feels in your hands and how do you feel with your camera. There are so many brands in the market that have very beautiful and good cameras, and for the first time in tutorials history I'd like to settle the battle between Canon and Nikon brands. There's no difference between them, okay? There's no difference. Okay, don't kill me. Really, they are different. Most studio photographers rather Canon for the colors they make, and most photojournalisms like Nikon for their speed. The thing is that even though they have many differences, you're not going to notice them until you take pictures for a very long time. In case you can't decide, the best thing you can do is asking your fellow photographers what brand are they using. This way you will be able to share the gear and save some money. In case you are a super fan of one of those brands and your fellow friends are fan of any other brand, don't worry. eBay is full of adapters. As I mostly work in studio, when I'm not using middle format, my favorite brand is Canon. The flaw of Canon is that they need a huge amount of light for working properly. And if you don't have enough light, you're going to find very disturbing noise on the dark areas. So if you are working outdoors, it would be better for you to choose Nikon. Although cameras are advertised saying its resolution in big, bold, capital letters, the thing is that the tricky part is not there, because a huge picture with no sharpness is no use. It's much more important that you focus your attention on the size of the sensor and having the best lens possible, because the lens is going to do much better for your picture than the resolution. This is a 50mm 1.4 Canon lens, and it's a great lens to use on studio with models because it emulates the focal distance of the eye, which means that you're not going to have great distortion, so it's very flattering for models. If you are shooting models full body, I wouldn't recommend it to use it to shoot close-ups, because when you are very close to the thing you are portraying, you have a bit of distortion. It cost me like $300, I think, and it's for one of the greatest investments I ever made in lenses, because it's very quick, it has a great response, it's very sharp. I would really recommend it if you work with Canon. This is a 200mm 2.8 Canon lens, and this lens is great for close-ups, it's great for beauty shots. It's a fixed lens. I'm not very fan of using zooms on studio because they don't give us sharpness as they do the lenses that are fixed. It's not very good to use on objects that are moving, although for studio it works great. This is a 16-35mm 2.8 Canon lens. This is a wide angle lens. It is used when you want to achieve some kind of dramatic distortion of your pictures, or when you want a small place to look way bigger than it is. This is the only zoom lens I have amongst my gear. This is because it is a great lens, it has a lot of resolution although being a zoom, and it has a very fast response. The lenses I showed you before belong to the L series of Canon. This series is great because they give a great resolution, not being the most expensive lenses on the market. When you're buying a new lens, there are two things that you need to keep in mind. First, what are you using your lens for? And second, how much light can you use? If you're starting in photography, you will have very little strobes, so you have to be aware of working on big lenses, because if lens is so big, they will need a huge amount of light. So if you're going to buy your new gear, my advice would be, don't buy the most expensive camera. Save the money for the lenses. Cameras evolve much quicker than the lenses do, so it's very possible that you will be able to use a good lens for quite a long time. So hoping that not Canon neither Nikon fans are going to kill me for this video, I say goodbye to you. I really hope you enjoyed. Remember, these tutorials are made for you, so please leave your questions in our Facebook page. See you on next tutorials and take a lot of pictures.